Well, hopefully you guys are ready. Today, I'm doing my NFC South prediction right before the game start tonight, so hopefully you guys are ready. This video should be up before the 7 p.m. game. Let's see where Carolina's ranked at the end of this. Let's go.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They roll coverage.
Okay, so yeah, today we're talking about the NFC South. Of course, I've got skin in the game being a Carolina Panthers fan, but hey, I've got to be at least a little bit unbiased, right? So I might as well start in everywhere but Carolina. First, let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, the Saints are trying to figure out their quarterback of the future, whether or not that's rookie Tyler Shuck or, hey, the college phenom or supposed phenom at the time, I guess, Spencer Rattler, who then fell from grace and is still in New Orleans being replaced by a injury-prone, 26-year-old Shuck. I just don't love that quarterback room. Obviously, Kellen Moore has quite a bit of opportunity right now, especially coming off coaching Jalen Hurts. So many people are so down on Jalen, even though he just won a Super Bowl. Obviously, in part because of the defense, but hey, if quarterbacks wins don't matter, then you can't take quarterback losses and all that other stuff. So it's a slippery slope there. When it comes to the New Orleans Saints, though, I do feel like they will end up last in the division. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I do believe that Chris Olave is going to try to return to form, but the concussions and everything going on with his health, to be honest, is going to take away from his not only fantasy value, but this team's long-term viability of not only winning more games, but maybe even trying to sneak into the playoffs one of these years. I do believe they are still a quarterback away, on top of many other positions. Obviously, there's no more Taysom Hill, no more Sean Payton. With Kellen Moore there, it completely changes. This is his first year, so I absolutely expect them to go through a bit of rocky turmoil, we'll say. I will say that they're most likely going to split with Carolina. I could see them splitting with the Falcons because it's always super weird. Getting swept in a division is very rare, I would say. I think it's only happened like 20 times since 2002, and I understand that's like once a year, but again, that's one team doing it essentially per year. I don't love their running back room. I like Devin Neal. I love Kamara, but obviously Kamara is getting to the point where he's probably going to have some diminutive return. Or, geez, I probably didn't even say that right. But regardless, I just don't believe in New Orleans yet. I love Chris Olave. If he was on another team, he'd be probably a top 15 fantasy wide receiver, for example. But because of the turmoil that's continuing to brew in New Orleans, I just can't put them anywhere other than last place. The next team I want to talk about, because I'm going to skip a little bit around, I'm going to talk about the one that I think might be number one in the division. To be honest, I think that's going to be the Atlanta Falcons. I understand that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have continued to do really well, but they've also continued to never really separate. Of course, there's moments where Baker Mayfield looks like an MVP candidate or looks like the Cleveland Brown of the old days, being able to win a bunch of games regardless of the situation. But that's also ignoring the fact that Tampa is one of the most stable organizations. Tampa was truly a quarterback away with Tom Brady. And now with Baker, Mike Evans getting ready to retire. I mean, in a recent interview, he said it might be next year. Chris Godwin is starting to get up there as well. You add Emeka Egbuka, who I absolutely love, Bucky Irving and Rachaad White in the running back room. You've got a paid offensive line for the most part, and of course, you're shoring up your defense. You went out and got 2 guys in the secondary this year, so I think that was really a major concern for you, especially after the loss in the playoffs last year. Do I think that you take a step forwards this year and cement yourselves? You could, absolutely. If that's the case, then we're going to know very quickly, and this is going to be a very cold take. But it could also be like how the NFC South is most years, with the Bucs fighting late into the season, and a team like Atlanta just coming up with those few wins to be able to beat them. I do think Atlanta with Michael Penix is going to be considerably better than they were with Kirk Cousins. I love Drake London. I really wish he was a Carolina Panther, but that's for another day. I do like their running back room, of course. Bijan, Tyler Algier. They have guys. Tight end even. Kyle Pitts. Hey, one of these years, he might finally become what everybody thought he was, but I doubt it. But when it comes down to it, most of the time, I think there's 7 new playoff teams every year. I don't see the NFC South staying the same. And if I saw Carolina truly giving me the juice, then I would just put Carolina as number one in the division because, hey, I'm a Carolina fan. That's what you would expect from me, right? but I can't. I truly can't. I want to see it on the field. Do I believe in Dave Canales? Yes. I actually made a video a month before he was hired where I said I would welcome him to the Panthers. Before anybody else was talking about Dave Canales to Carolina, I put out a video talking about that. I truly believe in what he is not only putting out there, but his pedigree, his mentality, his everything. You're not going to hear me really say anything negative about Dave Canales. Maybe when it comes to some personnel decisions, but you know what? I kind of put that more on the GM than the head coach. I am excited for what Canales can do this year, but he's going to have to compete against guys like these Atlanta Falcons. Even their wide receiver room, as much as I love Carolina's wide receiver room, I do think that Carolina maybe has the better one, but only by the tiniest of margins. I mean, we're talking about an Atlanta team that has Darnell Mooney, who is arguably a wide receiver one on a lot of other teams, and Ray McCloud. I don't think that Ray McCloud is really the best person for me to push that narrative forwards, but would you rather have Ray McCloud or Jalen Coker? I think a lot of people would go Jalen Coker now, but if you would have said that last year when I was hyping up Jalen Coker, people were like, oh man, holy cross, he's not going to be able to do this, but you're not seeing the vision. Teams like Atlanta saw the vision with guys like Drake London. They saw the vision with guys like Bijan Robinson, and they saw the vision with guys like Kyle Trask, that's the Bucks, with guys like Michael Penix. Michael Penix has an opportunity to truly go out there and take those 3 games that he ended last year with, of course, his loss to Bryce Young in that shootout. But if that's what he's capable of on a regular basis, man, this Falcons team is going to be fun. I do absolutely think that Drake London will eclipse 1,000 yards again, no problem. I also believe it'll be north of 10 touchdowns. I'm going to say 12 right now. But I do believe, and again, I'm going to say it right here, right now, the day before the first preseason, hours before the first preseason game kicks off, that the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the division. That's my official take. As of right now, it is the Atlanta Falcons number 1 in the NFC South. Now, do I believe that the Bucks right behind them can absolutely be there? 100%. I mean, again, we're talking about a Bucks team with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, again, who I think is going to light a fire in this team. I love the head coach with Bowles. I like the OC. I don't love him. Didn't love him like I like Liam Cohen. But when you've got guys like Bucky Irvin, you've got guys like Evans and all the other pieces, it's going to be a lot easier to win games. I do think that there could be a situation where Atlanta wins 10 games and the Bucks win 9, and both of them end up in the playoffs. I could see a situation where Atlanta wins 11 and Bucks win 10. I also see them most likely splitting with Carolina. I see them splitting with the Saints and probably splitting with the Falcons. So if that's the case, it's going to be a split all across the board. We just need to get those other out-of-conference wins, or those out-of-division wins, I mean. So with that, you obviously know where I'm going with my third one, and that's Carolina. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, and I continue to catch flack for being critical of not only the team, but the front office and so much more. My concern with this Carolina Panthers team has always been management. I don't think management made the right decision in drafting Bryce Young over CJ Stroud, but now that he's on our team, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't turn back the clock. If that's the case, then I would redraft the 2024 draft as well, because that was a terrible one, especially for Carolina. So if it was up to me, yes, we'll redo it all, but that's not how life works. I am here with Bryce Young as my quarterback. I am here with the pieces all around that we have. How I'm going to continue to be critical of this team is how the scheme is executed, who is staying healthy, which coaches we retain, and of course how many games we win. After 5 wins last year, I'm only raising the bar to 7 wins. I'm saying 7 and 10. We're going to be competitive in the division. We're going to get close, but you know what? We're going to lose those 1 or 2 late games. It's like, damn, we shouldn't have lost this. But oh well. You live, you learn, we get ready, retool for next year. And again, next year we're going into Bryce Young's 5th year. 2023 season, 2024, 2025, 2026. Oh, I guess 4th year technically. Okay, so then we'd still be making the decision on the 5th year. Geez, I'm glad I thought about that. Just don't know what the future in Carolina holds. I believe in Nalo McMillan. I believe in Xavier Legette a tiny bit. Obviously, I've been a pretty outspoken critic of him just in general, especially where he was picked. But again, I can't change the draft. I think that bringing in a guy like Nalo McMillan to not only stretch the defense, but really help out in the red zone is going to open up a guy like Xavier Legette, do things akin to a in-division rival, Chris Godwin for years. A guy like, T. Higgins, that's what I was looking for. A guy like Jordan Addison, a guy who's going to all of a sudden pop out 900 yards and 6 touchdowns and going to be a constant contributor to this team. Of course, I'm not even talking about the running back room. We're talking about Chuba Hubbard returning on a new contract. We're talking about the 1,000-yard rusher added from Dallas, Enrico Dowdle. There's so much opportunity there to run the ball, to keep the opposing offenses off the field, and for Carolina to win these very close games, like the Vikings of last year. When you're winning those one-score games, those 1 or 2 point games, you are going to be able to go farther. And that's just where Carolina is just short, in my opinion. Next year, I am absolutely going to believe that Carolina is going to push forwards, most likely into something like maybe contending for the playoffs. I'm not going to say we're going to get a playoff berth, but I'm going to say we're going to be in there end of the year, week 18 kind of thing, being like, oh, we need to win this game. We need to get this done. We need to come home with a win so this way we can move on to the playoffs. And I think that happens in 2026 when we add maybe 1 or 2 more pieces. But if that's the case, then Bryce Young will be on an even shorter leash, especially depending on how this year goes. This upcoming offseason, we could offer him a contract. Are we going to do that? I truly don't think so. I'm not the one that makes the decision about the depth chart. I'm not the one that makes the decision about quarterbacks. Dave Canales benched him. Remember that? And again, if you want to go back there and try and cherry pick whatever you want, go find me an article from the week after he was benched where Dave Canales spoke about a timeline of Bryce returning. It never happened. So with that, I think that there's so many other opportunities for this team to not only set themselves apart offensively, but defensively. Again, I believe in the run defense of Carolina, but as much as I even believe in the rush defense, I just don't believe right now in the defense as a whole, especially after last year. I truly need to see it just like I did last year. I not only need to see it from defensive players, but I need to see it from offensive players. I need to see it from our quarterback, Bryce Young. I need to see it from Nalo, our new rookie wide receiver. I need to see Jatavian Sanders maybe make a step forwards. Or you know what? Mitchell Evans. I'm fine with that. I need to see Trevin Wallace be able to make the right reads and hit the right gaps as a linebacker because of the void of Josie Jewell. I love Roseboom and what he's going to be able to offer, but this defense, this offense, and everything in Carolina really has so much to prove that I cannot put them as 2 just yet. Now, obviously, if we start the season 2 or 3-0, hey, that might get changed real quick. But regardless, I want to get your opinion. You really think that the Saints should be 4, Panthers should be 3, the Bucks should be 2, and the Falcons should be 1? You have the Bucks and Falcons switched, which if you do, I'm totally fine with that. I think that's an absolutely plausible opportunity for this team. But make sure you put a comment down there below because I want to know what your thoughts are. I can't wait to see it in the next one where I break down the NFC North ahead of the next game tomorrow, so make sure you check it out. This was the NFC South review, preview, my thoughts, whatever it is. I'm glad you're here. My name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.